Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the last episode of Weak Hero Class 2, Episode 8. But before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Episode 8 of Weak Hero Class 2 starts with Hoo-min Juntae and Hyun-tak updating Si-eun, who is now discharged from the hospital, about the fight. Si-eun thinks that since they will be outnumbered, they should come up with an alternative plan to ensure their victory. What plan does Si-eun come up with to ensure victory? The fight between Eunjang and the Union is crucial, and Eunjang cannot afford to lose. Si-eun thinks that they should try to even out their odds by dividing the Union members. They had earlier learned from Hyoman that the Union members do not follow Baekjin because of loyalty, but because of money. Si-eun thinks that if money brought them together, then it can also divide them. Si-eun approaches Seung-jae for help. Seung-jae is the only other person in the Union that Baekjin trusted. Si-eun talks Seung-jae into sending him the details of their burner account. Using Hyoman as a whistleblower, they release the details of the account to Union members, showing them that Baekjin has been siphoning money from them secretly, to a total of over 79 million. The news spread across the Union members, and a good number decided to bail out and not show up for the fight. Si-eun thinks that even with the number reduced, there is a high possibility that Baekjin might win. Therefore, he and Hoo-min make a second plan that if during the fight, Hoo-min is knocked out by Baekjin, Si-eun would step in and hold out as long as possible, as he gives Hoo-min a chance to get back up. Si-eun knew that he could not win a fight against Baekjin, but his tolerance would buy Hoo-min time to regain his strength. For this plan to work, Hoo-min had to ensure that he got back up again. What happens to Si-eun on D-Day? Si-eun gets a text from Seung-jae, who tells him that they can take advantage of Baekjin's absence from the bowling alley to find more evidence. Si-eun agrees to meet up, and before the fight, he decides to meet up with Seung-jae. However, Seung-jae planned to lure Si-eun away from the fight and trap him at the bowling alley. Juntae offers to head to the bowling alley to get Si-eun and make sure he shows up at the battleground. With Juntae's help, Si-eun subdues the Union member tasked with keeping him locked up at the bowling alley. Juntae is injured in the process. He asks Si-eun to leave him and head to the fight and make sure that Eunjang-hae never has to live in fear of the Union again. A group of Eunjang-hae students, including Hyoman's group, decide to join in the fight. The Union members are more skilled than Eunjang-hae, but the students still manage to hold on and keep the members occupied. Hyun-tak gets his one-on-one with Dong-ha, who has been dominating him in all the fights they have had before. While Hyun-tak is skilled in Taekwondo, Dong-ha is a judo master. Dong-ha's skills are far superior, but Hyun-tak's skill is endurance. So he keeps getting beaten up and getting back up again until he wins in the end by knocking out Dong-ha. The next big fight is between Baekjin and Hoo-min. Interestingly, they are evenly matched, but at some point, Baekjin wins over Hoo-min and knocks him out. The fighting stops since the bet was about who would win between Hoo-min and Baekjin. It seems like the Union has won, and Baekjin announces that henceforth, Eunjang will be under the Union unless anyone else comes forward to fight him. Hyun-tak wants to come forward, but Si-eun arrives just in time. The fight between Si-eun and Baekjin is less of a fight and more of Baekjin beating Si-eun to a pulp. However, Si-eun is determined to leave severe damage, and his organ of choice is Baekjin's leg. Si-eun keeps getting up and getting beaten mercilessly, until Baekjin starts to wonder about his ankle. Even with his hand and legs battered, it is clear Baekjin would still win. Finally, Hoo-min gets back up and finishes the fight. He decrees that the Union will cease to exist henceforth. Eunjang-hae. Students cheer their victory and leave the battleground. Baekjin is left sprawled on the ground, unable to get up. Eunjang-hae goes back to normality. Hyoman, the former school bully, becomes the school president. Si-eun starts spending more time with his friends. Si-eun narrates that nobody knows what happened to Baekjin, and his whereabouts are unknown. Si-eun wonders if Baekjin ever got the right answer to the math question about variables and constants. At the end of the episode, Si-eun receives a call, and they all rush to the hospital. In a surprising twist, Suho wakes up from his coma. He recognizes Si-eun when he rushes over to see him. Suho is pleased to learn that Si-eun has made some friends and is living well. In the epilogue, Mr. Choi tried to proposition Sung-jae to replace Baek-jin. However, Sung-jae refuses and asks about Baek-jin's whereabouts. The scene cuts to Hoo-min sobbing at Baek-jin's funeral. Well, after waiting for 3 years, we finally got a second season. What did you like about the new season? What disappointed you? And I think season 3 will also come. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.